Welcome back to On Football. Today's review is going to be on the Under Armour Blur Low MC Cleat. You guys saw the unboxing a couple weeks ago. These cleats are definitely interesting in the design, so I had a chance to play around in them, warm in practice, test them out for about 2 weeks, and I'm here to give you guys a detailed review. So, of course, I'll be covering off on the usual things I talk about when I review cleats. I'll be covering off on the traction, the weight, the fit, the cushioning, the ventilation, and the durability. So without further ado, let's get into the review. So here's a closer look for you guys on the UA Blur. It's definitely a well-designed cleat in terms of the aesthetics. Definitely pops. You guys saw the pictures on Instagram, but I think in person and on camera you can see just how cool these cleats are. They have a chrome bottom, and I talked about it in the unboxing. You can see the sticker here. It talks about having the battle scars and what that means. You know, it says if you're competing hard enough, you know, of course it's going to rub off. I'll talk about things like that when I get to the durability portion, but just looking at the overall design of the cleat, this is really Under Armour's entry-level cleat. All right, so it's definitely a speed cleat. It's very lightweight. I would compare it to Under Armour's version of the Adizero 5 stars. You can see the design here. This chrome finish here definitely sparkles, you know, as you run, or maybe sparkles not the right word, but definitely shines. Bring some of that tension, some of that highlight feel. This portion right here is reflective. So it's gray, but in all the light, you'll actually see that reflect under the lights at night. The Under Armour symbol here is also chrome. And then you have these little dots here that also reflect light during the daytime. So it gives you definitely a cool effect whether you're at night or during the day. I got commented on this at practice when people saw me wear these, so definitely well designed visually. Something that I do want to comment on is it does have a 4D foam, just like all of Under Armour's athletic shoes and definitely all their cleats. So this 4D foam here is meant to really cushion your foot. 4D foam adapts to your foot, so it tries to make the cleat comfortable. It also gives you like zero slippage in there, and it's a little bit springy, so it kind of returns some of your energy. So that's kind of the overview of the shoe in a nutshell. Now we're going to get into the detail. So the first thing that I like to talk about is traction, because you need traction in a cleat. And of course, along with traction, what makes it gives you that good grip is going to be the actual traction of the plate at the bottom, and it's also going to be the fit, and of course the weight. So all that plays into how well a cleat performs. But just looking at the traction alone, you can see here that you've got a stud up top. You know, it's kind of that to dig in with your toe cleat. And then you've got these rounder cleats, which are a lot similar to what you find in detachable cleats. And then you've got the blades here, here, and at the back. So I did use this on turf and in grass. And what I found is that turf, I was slipping everywhere. So I would not recommend these for turf at all. Hardly ever do I say that, but if you play on mostly turf, this is not going to be the cleat for you. Now if you play on grass, it was adequate. You know, it wasn't the best cleat by any means, but I had enough grip. I wasn't slipping around, but honestly, when I used it on turf, I was slipping everywhere. So I would not recommend this for turf. And because it did so poorly on turf, I actually gave these a 6 out of 10 in terms of traction. Now weight is one of the greatest things about these. It's, like I said, a super light cleat. I compare them to the Adizero 5 stars. When they're in the box, I barely know that anything's in there. When I take them out, I'm like, did I put the cleats back in? So these cleats are extremely light, and they get a 9 out of 10 for weight. Another thing that I really liked about these cleats is how they fit. So this is a size 12. It fits true to size. I was wearing double layer socks, which I normally wear with my football cleats, but there is what I call zero space, and Nike calls it zero space. So that's something that actually adds to the traction, to your overall feel of the shoe, because your foot is not slipping at all in here. I have really thin ankles, and you can see that the eyelets don't come that far back, but it had great lockdown. My heel was not slipping at all. The heel counter is nice and strong, and your toes go all the way to the front, but even though it's a very thin and light cleat, you had enough cushioning. So overall, it is a great fit, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. Next up is just the breathability of the cleat. Now this is a synthetic material. you don't see a lot of holes on the upper of the shoe. You know, this is looks like it's more for design right here. If you look at the inside, you really don't see, you know, any holes to breathe at all. The tongue has some, and it's a very lightweight tongue as well. It's not thick by any means. This is a little bit padded for comfort, but you can see that here again you don't really see any holes here for breathability. But with that being said, I never got hot in these cleats, even with my double layer socks. I think it's just the lightweight nature of the synthetic that's used. I think it breathes really well. So even with this design, I really gave the breathability an 8 out of 10, which is pretty good for a cleat. Cushioning on this shoe, because of the 4D foam, like I said before, this is going to mold to your foot. It's going to get more comfortable and more comfortable as you wear it. So that's a good thing about it. Also, because it molds to your foot, that's going to allow the shoe not to move at all, and it absorbs your energy as well as returns it. So in terms of the cushioning is excellent in this shoe. I gave it an 8 out of 10 for cushioning. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about really to rate is the durability of the shoe. I think it's very durable in terms of you're not going to get creases in your shoe, so you're always going to be looking good if you're just talking about the upper. I know that's important for a lot of you guys. It's important for me. You want your cleats to look new. You always want to shine on the field. The one thing that is not durable is this chrome plating at the bottom. Now, when I used it on turf, I had no types of scratches or anything when I came off the field. It was great. I thought these cleats would last long. I was kind of surprised. Now when I test them in grass, just one day of practice, you can see that the chrome is already chipping. So when you talk about using these every day for a season, for games, is not going to last. It's not going to look like this. By the end of your season, your cleats are not going to look like this. And I think that's the reason why, if you look at the bottom, that Under Armour talked about kind of the battle scars and everything else. You know, if you're competing hard enough, the chrome paint on these cleats could chip. Wear them with pride. Could chip, they will chip. They'll definitely chip. So you just bank on that. But because the upper is very durable, and I felt the insole is very durable, but the outsole is not, I was forced to give these a 7 out of 10. So these cleats are available in many different colors. You may have already seen the variety on my Instagram. They retail for $110. Like I said, this is Under Armour's entry-level cleat. You're probably wondering who or what players would I recommend them for. These are definitely a speed cleat, a lightweight cleat. So if you're into that lightweight thing of like the Adizeros, then you might want to get these. Definitely receivers, I would say, could use this. Some running backs could use this. But as a DB, you know, backpedaling and trying to change direction, forward, back, I didn't really like it. But if you're talking about just, you know, going forward and not really going side to side and not, you know, going backwards, then I think this is a cleat for you. So again, that's receivers, some running backs, and possibly quarterbacks as well. So that's pretty much my review. If you liked it, remember to subscribe, give me the thumbs up, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time.